Welcome to JNP Project YouTube channel and podcast. I'm the host, Miki Miura. I'm a family nurse practitioner in the United States. In this channel, we cover everything from how international student can become a nurse practitioner in the USA, how you can get good grades in a nurse practitioner program, how you can get great job as an international student, and how you can build amazing nurse practitioner career and have a life that you love. Before we're gonna get into today's topic, which is should you choose in-person, online, or hybrid nurse practitioner program, I want to quickly mention about very exciting news that we're gonna start a group mentorship program for international nurses. This program will teach international nurses to become a nurse practitioner in the United States, but this program will be done in English. So if you're not confident in English, this is a great opportunity to practice your English skills. Not only that you're listening, but also there will be a lot of opportunity that you write and also you speak in English. So you can make a lot of mistakes because without mistakes, you're not going to get better. But it's going to be a safe space because your classmates are going to be other international nurses. And I'm an international nurse too, so I know how hard it is to learn English, especially in nursing because it's such a specialized field. Also, you're going to have access to an inclusive Facebook page so you can connect with your classmates and also graduates in the future and also to me. And we're going to have a monthly Zoom call meeting. It's going to be a 6-month program, but you're going to have total of 6 live meeting on Zoom. And you can ask questions to me. I can ask questions and we can have discussions. In everything is in English, and the topic will be things that are very helpful for international nurses. You also gonna have a workbook that is helpful to go through online lesson as well. So this is very exciting news, and to get more information about this new program, you can go to usa.janp program, janpproject.com. Again, usa.janpproject.com to get more information. And I'm going to put that little information down below. But let's go move on to today's topic, which is should you choose in-person, online, or hybrid nurse practitioner program? Let's discuss. Okay, so today's topic is whether you should choose in-person, online, or hybrid nurse practitioner program. So, we live in 2023. In a way, thanks to COVID, although even before COVID, in the United States, we had a lot of online options for nurse practitioner education. But I think it became more so evident after the pandemic. But to become a nurse practitioner, there are so many kinds of nurse practitioner programs. And there are in-person, like traditional in-class nurse practitioner programs. And also there's completely online nurse practitioner programs. And then there are hybrid programs when, it's combining in-person, the in-class education and online education. So which one is the best for you? So we're going to go over pros and cons. Again, pro is benefit and con is like disadvantage or negative. So for pro, for in-person, the traditional in-class education, the good thing about this style of education or program is that you can have a deeper human connection with faculties and classmates. This was actually really important for me, and for my I went to two nurse practitioner programs because the first one was for master's degree. So back then, I can just get a master's degree. Majority of nurse practitioner got master's degree to become a nurse practitioner. And at the time, the DNP program wasn't. There wasn't many DNP programs. At least in Hawaii, there was no DNP program. But so my master's program was in person. It was basically in person, but I think majority was in person, like traditional in the classroom. I really like that because I got to be really close to my classmates and also my teachers. I still hang out with my classmates from my master's program. Actually, one of them is coming. She moved out to Texas, but she's gonna come visit me next week. So I'm very excited. I'm actually taking a little PTO or a day off so that I can hang out with her. Also, I have multiple classmates that we're still being in touch with, and some of them are really still very close to. I think not only that we support each other to go through nurse practitioner program, which was very, very hard, but we had a lot of study sessions on the weekends. We exchange a lot of information like, hey, I found this amazing resource, you should use it. Or we study together for exams. Sometimes, even though you carefully listen to what teachers are saying, you might miss some information, but maybe your other classmates took a memo or remember and then tell me like, don't forget this, and I'll be like, oh my god, thanks so much. It can be vice versa. I can remember things, hey, make sure to use this one, or make sure to finish this paper, and then my friend could be like, oh my god, thank you for letting me know. So we helped each other. We weren't there to compete. We were trying to get through this hardship in a nurse practitioner program together, and I made good friends during that program. Also, I made it. I have a good relationship with multiple professors, and we're still in touch with them. I'm still in touch with them, and they can help. They help me to write a recommendation letter for employment. Also, for other things, and then I can ask questions, and who knows, I might ask my classmates, and actually that's a good idea. My classmates and my former professor to be a guest speaker for my online education and so forth. So also, especially when I was a new grad, like I specialized to women's health, but I wasn't sure about like orthopedics or endocrine, about the thyroid and stuff like that. Then I asked my classmate who is specialized to endocrinology or specialized to orthopedics, hey, what would you do? What would you recommend? And then they do the same thing. They text me and say, hey, my patient have this women's health problem. What medication do you usually prescribe? And so we still help each other. It's hard to find those kind of friendship elsewhere. And not only that, definitely helpful because you have somebody that you can ask questions to, but emotionally it was really, really helpful. And just in case if somebody's curious, like, so are those friends were they Japanese or not? Well, I didn't have a Japanese classmate in my class, first of all, but it could be, it's a mixture of, the majority of classmates were Americans. So the majority of my friends are American from the class. But, it's also by communicating with them, you use English and your English get better. So, Yeah, I think that's one of the best thing about having, going into the traditional in-class style nurse practitioner program. Another thing is you have an environment that you can actually focus. When you're in class, you're kind of forced to focus on the class. If you're doing online at home, you might be looking outside, checking the waves, and you're like, I wish I can surf, or maybe go to bathroom very frequently, more than you need, or you have a snack more than you need. So it might be harder for you to concentrate, but in the actual traditional, in class nurse practitioner program, you can focus. And at the time, I love going to libraries, because then I just decide, what, I'm going to study for next 2 hours. Then I just, focus on studying and get things done. So I like that I have a different environment. And especially when I was a student, I wanted to save money. So I had housemates, but I used the library because it was easier for me to focus. At house, who knows, your housemates might have friends coming over and they're making noises, and it's harder for you to concentrate. But if you have actual campus that you can go to, then you don't have to pay for getting a coffee every time you try to study. It's free, so you can just go there and stuff like that. Another huge reason why people may choose in class the traditional way nurse practitioner program is because you can learn procedures hands on. So for example, when I was taking assessment class in a master's program, we had a professional female patient. They are professionals who learn to be a model patient, and then we practice pelvic exam and pap smear. So because like learning online or learning just on the paper doesn't really, like, we have to actually do it with our hands. Otherwise, we don't know how to adjust our hands, how to hold your tools and stuff like that. So for those, you need a hands-on training. So that was very helpful. Con for in-person nurse practitioner program is a couple things. Might be hard to work full-time, especially if the schedule is during the daytime and you're supposed to work during the daytime. So if you have a conflict of work and school schedule, that will be very hard. And if you work less, then you have less income, so you might have a money issue. Another thing is you have to transport, you have to drive. It takes a while. You have to pay for gas, and you have to look for parking. Also, parking costs some money. So especially for international students like I was, money is very restricted, because when you're under the student visa, you can't work much. So basically, I was just using money from my savings. So it's just getting depleted. It's decreasing. So, I was always try to save money if try not to spend a lot of money if possible. So transportation will be one of the negative, especially for international students. Let's talk about the online programs. There are pros and cons as well. Pro for online programs, online nurse practitioner programs, they are generally cheaper, and there's no transportation. You don't have to drive somewhere. You can just do it from your place, or you can go to a coffee shop nearby your house, and then you can just do it from there. Another pro for online program is schedule is more flexible, and because of this, maybe it's better for a parent who have a children that you need to take care of, or if you're working during the daytime and you can't, it's hard for you to adjust your work schedule. con of online programs are they're generally less instruction. It might depend, but I taught as a preceptor. I taught multiple students who took online classes or online nurse practitioner program, and I noticed that generally they get less instructions from, like, I had a student. She actually had a lot of experience as a nurse, but she went to this online nurse practitioner program because it was cheap. But when she came to me to learn women's health, she didn't even know how to hold speculum, which is the tool you use to do pap smear and check in, the cervix. And she didn't know even how to hold it. And she said she never get an instruction from her program. And she does, and that kind of blew my mind, because as a preceptor, I expect my students to learn to some extent, so that when they come to the clinic, we can just go ahead and, use that skill and practice on patients, and, instead of learning from scratch after they come to the clinic. So I felt like she was less prepared, and it's not really because of her, but it was because the program didn't teach her. And also very little hands-on or zero hands-on trainings, which is very questionable, because as a nurse practitioner, as a clinician, I don't know we can learn everything online, because you have to listen to people's heart, or when you do incision, you kind of have to feel how it feels to cut a skin, a human skin, or insert Nexplanon, or you can practice with the pig skin, but it is different. The pig skin and human skin is different. So you kind of have to have actual experience, and you don't want to have that experience after you graduate and working as a new grad nurse practitioner. I feel like you're not prepared as much compared to for a student who go to traditional in-class nurse practitioner program. For online, for students who go to online nurse practitioner programs, they will definitely have a difficulty of finding preceptors, and then also it'll be very hard for them to have a connection with classmates and faculties, like I did with my classmates and professors. So less support from your peers and your faculty. Also, if you're under student visa, I believe you can't take the online programs, because you don't have to be in the United States to attend the online nurse practitioner program. You can do it from Japan or other countries. That's why they usually don't give student visa. So it might not be an option for international students. But, let's say if you have a green card through your marriage, there are still some stuff to think about, like should you do online? When they advertise, of course they're gonna say this and that. It's more reason, it's cheaper, tuition is less and that. But there are a lot of cons, to be honest. So personally, I wouldn't recommend a totally online nurse practitioner program, because certain things you need really hands-on. And also you're going to have such a difficulty of finding preceptors. So I personally wouldn't recommend 100% online program. Now, another option is hybrid. So the hybrid program is combination of online and in person. Personally, I think this is a great idea, especially if you go to a DNP program. There are some semesters you write papers and you don't have to be in class. So why not? You can do it from home, so you can actually work. For my DNP program, so I did MSN to DNP program, so I finished master's program, nurse practitioner program, graduate, and I worked as a nurse practitioner for 3 years or so. And then I went back to grad school to get into DNP program. And that DMP program was basically, we still went to the campus a few, more than a few times, but basically it was online. I went to the campus for to giving a presentation, because I could have done online presentation, but I wanted to do in person so I can convey my message a little bit more stronger. Also, I went there for orientations and stuff like that. So it wasn't a complete online program, but it was kind of more like a hybrid. But for the DNP part, the doctorate part, we had a lot of, classes that focus on writing papers and stuff like that. So for that, I don't really have to be in the campus. So that was perfect. So I think either hybrid or in-person programs are great. Hybrid picks up the pros of each, the in-person and online. So for hybrid, you can still work because, your school schedule is, still very flexible. You can still learn hands-on stuff from the in-person classes. And then you can still build relationship with your classmates because you actually go to campus and then study in class for some courses. So you can actually see faces, talk to each other, and not just about the school, but hey, get to know that person and, become friends. And those friends can be your lifetime friends. Not only that you're, colleague with them and stuff like that, they are such a good friends with, for me. And sometimes it's hard to explain your struggles to your, I'm close to my mom also, but sometimes it's hard to explain the difficulty at work if you're not nurse practitioner, because we have our own, what we do is very different. So some people who work in different fields may not understand what struggles we experience. So to have somebody who knows the pains and the struggles at nurse practitioner program, and then become a new grad nurse practitioner, and also experienced nurse practitioners, and actually take the steps together is so special. So in conclusion, I would recommend either 100% in-class nurse practitioner program or hybrid nurse practitioner program. 100% online nurse practitioner program. I'm so sorry, but I'm personally very skeptical. As a preceptor, I saw the difficulty of doing that. So if I were asked what type of nurse practitioner program should she or he choose, I would say either in person or hybrid. But that's today's topic, and I hope this was very helpful. I will see you in the next episode. Take care. Aloha.